Ready. Yo, what's up guys? Corey Sandman Sandhagen here. Hey, you hate to see it. You hate to watch Max lose like that, okay? But Ilia did a really good job. He made a fan out of me, okay? I liked his post speech and all of that stuff. But in the breakdown, we're going to talk about Ilia's style, how I think it's perfect for his type of build and guys that are built like that. So if you are built like that, this might be a really good one to watch and figure some things out for your own game. Two, we'll talk about the little tiny mistake that Max made, just taking himself off the floor, getting hit in that process where he really doesn't have a lot of defense. And then three, we're going to talk about obviously the knockout punch, and we're pretty much just going to talk about how awesome Ilia is, because as a fighter, that guy is absolutely incredible. I don't really see him losing at 145 for a really long time. I still think he'll have a ton of success at 155, even though he's a little bit shorter. His arms are super long. We'll get into all of that. Like, subscribe, comment, peace. Let's get into the breakdown. All right, guys, cool. Let's talk about Ilia Topuria's style first before we start talking about the punch that finished him, and then kind of the little tiny mistake that Max made that got him uprooted off the floor and got him hit without being able to defend himself. Okay, so first things first, guys, Ilia's style is sick. It's like one of the better styles. I said this like a really long time ago, maybe even before he knocked Volk out. I was like, that guy's style with that type of body build is like the perfect pairing, okay? It's like spaghetti and meatball or lamb and tuna fish. You know that reference? Scrub.
Lamb and tuna fish?
Maybe you like spaghetti and meatball?
Okay, so Ilia fights really, really bladed, okay? Big time boxer style. What keeps him so safe with his build is that he's usually going to be either eye level or a little bit shorter than someone, okay? Usually that's like sometimes a downfall because they don't have as much reach, but Ilia also has like freakishly long arms for a little dude. But what it does when you're built like that, and this is kind of the way that Petr Yan was built, and it made it really difficult to try to score anything good on him, is the way that they cover, and Petr's way more like square than Ilia is, but Ilia is really bladed. When their arms cover almost all of their body and they can still cover their face, like I can't do that because I have a really long torso and my arms aren't freakishly long like him, but some people have that ability. Like Weird Elias behind the camera has like freakishly long arms and like a little child's torso, so it works for him, okay? But that paired with being really bladed is super hard to score on, okay? The way that his body is built that way and the way that he can press is perfect, like the same way Jan can press. When I can cover everything because I'm able to stand here and cover everything as I press forward, it gets really difficult. I don't give you any openings. So when you're the attacker or the person that's trying to move and hit the person, you don't want to just punch elbows and the guard the entire time, okay? Sometimes that like sets up other shots. Like Max definitely had some success with his punches and kicks and stabs and stuff, but you don't want to just be punching at elbows and feeling like you're not having any success. Like mentally that can just really suck. And when you're the other person, when you're the Ilia guy who's marching the person down, it gives you like a big confidence boost regardless, because you're like, all right, this guy's not scoring anything on me. And like that mentally is a big shift in just the difference of fighting someone like that and attacking someone like that. When you're attacking someone like that, like I said, it doesn't like feel good to just punch their guard, okay? So when they're real bladed like this, or Ilia's real bladed like this, and he moves forward, okay? He's also shaped in a way where he's not back, he's not upright, he's not like hunched over. He fights, I can't really do it because I don't have much of an ass, but, wait, what? Ilia kind of does. Wait, what? But he is very capable of like putting his like hips back like this, okay? And if you're a sprinter, or if you know anything about like biomechanics, which I know obviously like a decent amount about, just because I've been in the strength and conditioning like arena for a really long time and I like to ask questions. When you're tilted like this is like a very powerful position. Like if I'm gonna take off on a sprint, I don't hunch over, I don't lean back. Like I hunch myself to a point where my back is straight, my hips are a little bit back, and I take off and sprint so I could press and use the floor really good. That's how Ilia strikes, which makes him just powerful by the nature of the way that he's shaped and the way that he's connecting to the floor. Okay, so he's shaped, tilted, and pressed forward like this, also with a really good blade, and it makes it so that one, I can protect myself, and two, I can really use the floor to press myself off of and attack, okay? That with his like freakishly long arms makes him really good, okay? The finish though, let's talk about this, because when you are that bladed, it's really easy to just kind of pop yourself out like Ilia does, press forward. He really starts to look like a demon when he really gets his head moving like this, feinting, moving his head, like that's when he's at his best, because you don't get to just like throw straight shots, which is kind of the problem when I am fully covered, is that straight things can come through. But if I move my head and I have my hands up to block the round stuff, I'm typically good, okay? So, the finish, all right? He takes this step with his lead foot, trails this one, boom, throws a hook, and then really extends on the cross, okay? I like this. Me and Trevor have been working a lot about this. Trevor understands it a little bit better than I do, but I'm starting to get it. When you're built really bladed like this, okay, when you set up shots, you don't want to just commit on any right hand that you think is going to score in your head. You want to commit on the right hand after you move yourself in, this other foot trails, and then you launch off of the floor. Like if I was throwing a javelin spear, or if I was like chucking or trying to punch through a brick wall, you wouldn't do it like, hi-ya. You'd sink into your hips and you'd really push off of the floor and drive through, okay? He does that awesome. Another thing that's really important that he did is he throws his jab, doesn't care if the jab lands, trails his back foot at the same time. Boom, trails his hook or throws his hook, doesn't care if it lands. What he's really concerned with landing here is the right hand. He throws it beautifully, boom, hits Max, rocks him, and then follows up with some shots. But one more time so you guys can see. Boom, trail, boom, he gets real wide, and here it's like I'm shaped exactly like if I was gonna throw a javelin really far, which is kind of what throwing a right hand is. Trails this, boom, stops himself, uses his entire hips, and scores on Max's like face. You hate to see it. I had to watch it like a ton of times in order to understand everything that was going on so I could do this video. So I'm more sad than you. I cried a little bit yesterday, but we're not gonna talk about that, okay? Boom, boom, really launches the right hand. It was beautiful, okay? That with like being shaped the way that he is and being able to protect himself, awesome, all right? The mistake that Max made, kind of, okay? Not like a giant mistake, but enough, all right? Max fights a little bit more with an open body here, okay? With his hands not super tight, with one arm out, just kind of like how a long guy, like if you are built a little bit longer, that's typically we see trending in that direction. A little bit more here, a little bit with the longer guard, and he kind of fights with his arms out here so that he can really get his 1-1-2 and going really fast, stab into the body. The mistake that he made though, Ilia went to attack with the jab hook cross, okay? Max, as the jab and the hook came, lifted himself up off of the floor and did one of these, okay? You can't really do that, all right? That was the mistake, okay? When you're the taller guy and you're moving like this, and Max did a really good job, it was just the one instance that it happened, boom, he's moving, he circled out to the right a ton to stay away from that right hand, which was really smart of him, okay? You notice like every time he was circling out to his right. Boom, he's moving, he would circle. In this circumstance, he was here. Ilia threw punches, he leaned, took himself off the floor to try to do one of these shift back steps. Boom, like this. But Ilia kind of read it. He knew how long he has like obviously a really good idea of how long his cross is. Max went to shift, try to make space, boom, got hit on that transition. And the problem with this, guys, is that when you're lifting yourself onto one foot, I have no directions to go, okay? And fighting happens very fast. I can shift like this, but if I do it in slow motion, I'm susceptible to attack until I'm here again, okay? I can't change directions on one foot. If I'm on one foot, like I guess I can go up into the air, But when I'm here like this and I'm shifting, I'm susceptible all the way till I hit the floor, and then I can go left, right, pushes, and all of that stuff, okay? It's the same problem that people have when they shift forward. Like I see this a lot too. They'll be going to chase someone, be here like this, get hit, and then land on their foot, okay? That's a really big deal, guys, because like I said, fighting happens this fast. Even though Max was literally like one of these, I can't change, boom, and when you're in that moment, you can't change directions. If you do it a little bit more properly, you can cut to a direction. You're still lifting yourself off the floor, so you have to understand the space. Let me not get ahead of myself, but when you're juking, it kind of sets an angle and then a space creation. An angle and then a space creation is usually how people do it. When you're marching forward, like I see this all the time in the amateur guys that I'm coaching or the lower level professionals, they'll march at people like this, get hit, or they'll march at people and be like, oh shit, this guy's not backing up, and then like as they land, get hit, and it's just an uncomfortable situation. You can't let that happen, okay? So that was pretty much, honestly, the fight. You hate to see it, but Ilia made me a fan. I liked his post-fight speech. I like that he's gonna like not play a heel, and that we're gonna have a champion that's really badass, and I think gonna crush at 145, maybe even at 155. I could see him winning a lot of those fights. I'm glad that we have a champ that's not gonna be a heel for that. So good on Ilia, congrats to the guy. I was a little bit of an Ilia hater before just because he came across really arrogant, but I like him after his fight. So congrats, you gained a fan, you won a belt, or you defended the belt. Like, subscribe, comment, peace. I love you guys, bye.